Have you ever finished reading an article on your tablet or scrolling through photos of the grandkids on your phone, only to look up and feel like there is literal sand grinding inside your eyelids? Or perhaps you've noticed a dull, throbbing ache wrapping around the base of your skull that no amount of rubbing seems to fix? Here is a question that might surprise you. What if I told you that the blurry vision and dry, tired eyes you are battling aren't actually starting in your eyes at all? It is a startling thought, isn't it? We naturally assume that eye problems originate in the eyeballs, but the reality is much more interconnected. The hidden culprit behind that nagging digital eye strain is very likely sitting right below your skull, hidden in the complex architecture of your neck and upper back. Today, we are going to fix that. We aren't just going to talk about standard eye drops or generic advice like take a break. We are going to walk through a specific science backed 3-minute posture reset designed explicitly for the senior body. This routine integrates subtle spinal adjustments and gentle neck movements that directly target the musculoskeletal contributors to blurry vision. We are going to restore the blood flow to your visual cortex and unpinch the nerves that help you see clearly. By the end of this video, you will have a tool you can use anywhere, anytime to reclaim visual clarity and comfort. Before we dive into the physiology of relief, I want to welcome you to our community. If you are looking for health advice that respects the wisdom of your years and focuses on sustainable, science-backed solutions rather than quick fixes, please consider subscribing. We share the kind of senior health tips that doctors often overlook in brief appointments. And to get the conversation started, I would love to know, where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comments below. It is always wonderful to see how global our community is becoming. Let's begin our journey to clearer vision by addressing the foundation of your posture, because you cannot build a lighthouse on a swamp. The first step in our 3-minute reset focuses on the position of your pelvis. You might be wondering what your hips have to do with your eyes, but think of your spine as a kinetic chain. If the bottom link is twisted, the top link where your eyes reside cannot possibly be straight. When we sit in a soft chair or on a sofa, we have a tendency to tuck our tails, rolling backward onto the fleshy part of our glutes. This causes the spine to round into a C shape, forcing the neck to crane forward just to keep the eyes level with the horizon. This slumping posture is scientifically detrimental to your alertness and visual processing. A fascinating study published in the journal Gait and Posture demonstrated that slump sitting significantly decreases the diaphragm's ability to function and increases muscle activity in the upper back to compensate. Essentially, when you slump, your body has to work twice as hard to keep your head up, stealing energy that should be going to your brain and eyes. Imagine a stack of children's building blocks. If the bottom block is tilted, every block above it has to lean precariously to keep the tower from falling. That is your spine. So here's what we are going to do. I want you to wiggle slightly in your chair until you can feel your sit bones, those two bony prominences at the base of your pelvis. Instead of rolling back, I want you to gently rock your pelvis forward so you are perched right on top of those bones. You should feel your lower back naturally arch just a tiny bit, and suddenly your rib cage feels lighter. By simply stacking your blocks correctly, you have instantly taken the mechanical load off your neck. Now that we have established a solid base, we need to address the fuel source for your eyes, oxygen. The second vital component of our reset involves the rib cage and your breathing mechanics. When we focus intently on a screen, we tend to do something called screen apnea. We take shallow sipping breaths, or we hold our breath entirely. This deprives the highly metabolic tissues of the retina of the oxygen they need to process light. The link between respiration and vision is profound. Research published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science has shown that the retina has one of the highest oxygen consumption rates per weight of any tissue in the human body, making it incredibly susceptible to hypoxia or low oxygen. If you aren't breathing deeply, you are essentially dimming the lights in the powerhouse of your eyes. Imagine your lungs are like a pair of bellows used to stoke a fire. If you only squeeze the bellows a tiny bit, the fire dims. We need to open those bellows wide. I want you to place your hands on the sides of your rib cage. As you inhale, Focus on expanding your ribs outward into your hands, not just lifting your shoulders up. Feel that lateral expansion. This 360-degree breathing signals your nervous system to switch from a fight or flight sympathetic state, which narrows your vision, to a rest and digest parasympathetic state, which relaxes the focusing muscles of the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, feel the ribs widen, and exhale long and slow. You are literally refueling your eyes. With our foundation set and our fuel system running, we move up the chain to the area where most seniors carry the weight of the world, the shoulders. This brings us to the third step of our reset, which targets the upper trapezius muscles. When we use digital devices, our shoulders have a magnetic attraction to our ears. We creep them up, creating tension that travels straight up the neck and into the base of the skull. This tension is a major contributor to what are known as tension type headaches, which often manifest as eye pain. A study in the Journal of Electromyography and Kinesiology utilized electromyography to show that even low-level static contraction of the trapezius muscles, like holding your shoulders up slightly while reading, can lead to significant muscle fatigue and referred pain patterns behind the eyes. It is like wearing a backpack that is 2 sizes too small. The straps dig in and cut off circulation. To counter this, we are going to perform a move I like to call the anti-shrug. I want you to inhale and deliberately shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears, squeeze them tight, create that tension on purpose. Now, on a sharp exhale, drop them heavily, let gravity take them. Imagine you are carrying heavy grocery bags in each hand and you just decided to drop them on the kitchen floor. Feel that sudden release of weight. Do this one more time. Squeeze up and drop. That sensation of length in your neck is space opening up for your nerves to breathe. If you are finding these tips helpful so far and you are starting to feel a little looser, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. It helps us share this message with other seniors who might be struggling with eye strain in silence. Now we arrive at the most critical juncture of our reset, the movement that addresses the text neck phenomenon directly. This is step 4, the cervical retraction or the chin tuck. In the modern world, our heads are constantly jutting forward to get closer to the screen. This is a disaster for the cervical spine. Dr. Kenneth Hansraj, a spinal surgeon, published a renowned study in Surgical Technology International, which calculated the forces on the neck. He found that while the human head weighs about 10 to 12 pounds in a neutral position, tilting it forward by just 60 degrees, the common angle for looking at a phone increases the effective weight on the neck to a staggering 60 pounds. Imagine walking around with an 8-year-old child sitting on your neck all day. That is the load your poor neck muscles are managing, and that strain pulls directly on the connective tissues surrounding the eyes. To fix this, we need to bring the head back over the shoulders. I want you to place 2 fingers on your chin without tilting your head up or down. Simply push your chin straight back as if you are trying to make a double chin. You should feel a gentle lengthening at the very back of your neck, right near the hairline. Imagine your head as a bowling ball sliding back onto its shelf. Hold that tucked position for a few seconds, then release. This simple retraction realigns the vertebrae and drastically reduces that 60-pound load back down to 10 pounds, giving your visual system a massive break. We are flowing nicely now, but we need to address the specific muscle group that acts as the bridge between the neck and the eyes. Step 5 targets the suboccipital triangle. These are tiny star-shaped muscles at the very top of the neck, right where the skull meets the spine. They are intimately connected to your eye movement. In fact, they are synchronized. When you move your eyes, these muscles contract. When these muscles get tight from staring at a fixed distance, they compress the greater occipital nerve, leading to pain that radiates over the head and settles behind the eyes. A study published in BMC Musculoskeletal Disorders found a direct correlation between active trigger points in these suboccipital muscles and the intensity of tension-type headaches and eye strain. Think of these muscles like a kink in a garden hose. If they are tight, the flow of information and blood to the head is throttled. To release them, keep your chin slightly tucked from our previous step. Now, imagine you have a pencil sticking out of the very top of your head, and you are trying to draw a tiny circle on the ceiling with it. These are micro movements, very small, very subtle, Rotate your head just a fraction of an inch to the right, then left, then articulate a tiny nod. You aren't stretching the big muscles, you are massaging the connection point between your skull and spine. This subtle release can often result in an immediate sharpening of vision. As if someone just wiped a dirty window clean, we have aligned the body. Now we must hydrate the eyes themselves. Step 6 is the hard blink. It sounds simple, but it is physiologically crucial. When we stare at screens, our blink rate plummets. We go from blinking about 15 to 20 times a minute to as few as 5 to 7 times. This causes the tear film, the protective layer over your cornea, to evaporate. According to research from the University of Iowa, this reduction in blink rate results in corneal desiccation, dry spots on the eye, which scatters light and creates that halo effect or blurriness you see at night. When the windshield of your car is dry and dirty, the wipers just smear the mess around. You need fluid. So let's engage the pump. I want you to close your eyes, but don't just gently close them, squeeze them shut, engage the muscles around the eyelids, hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2, now pop them open. Repeat this 3 times. This squeezing action forces the Meibomian glands in your eyelids to secrete oil. This oil mixes with your tears to prevent them from evaporating. You are manually re-lubricating your own windshield, ensuring that the image entering your eye is crisp and clear. Finally, we reach step 7, which integrates your eyes back into the world around you. We call this breaking the gaze lock. One of the reasons digital eye strain is so prevalent is that our eyes are evolved to hunt and scan the horizon, not to fixate on a pixelated image 18 inches away for hours. When we stare at a near distance, the ciliary muscles inside the eye contract to hold the lens in focus. Over time, they spasm, they get stuck. The American Optometric Association has long promoted the 20-20-20 rule, but we are going to add a movement component to it for seniors. The rule is every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. However, simply looking away isn't enough if your neck is stiff. So here is our variation. Turn your whole upper body, ribs, shoulders, and head to look out a window or at the farthest corner of the room. Focus on a specific detail, like a leaf on a tree or a pattern on the wallpaper. Why the rotation? Because integrating the rotation of the spine with the focusing of the eye recalibrates your vestibulo-ocular reflex. This is the system that coordinates your balance and vision. A study in the Journal of Vestibular Research highlights how the aging process can degrade this coordination, leading to dizziness and visual instability. By rotating your body and focusing your eyes simultaneously, you are recalibrating the system, reminding your brain where your body is in space, which reduces the neurological workload of seeing. Now, let's put it all together into a fluid 3-minute flow. You sit down, you rock your pelvis forward to find your sit bones, stacking the blocks. You take a deep 360-degree breath, expanding the ribs like bellows. You squeeze your shoulders up and drop them heavy, the anti-shrug. You slide your chin back like a drawer, closing the chin tuck. You make tiny circles with your nose to release the suboccipital muscles. You squeeze your eyes shut for a hard blink to oil the lens. And finally, you rotate your body to look at a distant object, breaking the gaze lock. It sounds like a lot when we break it down, but in practice, this flows like a dance. It takes 3 minutes. You can do it while the kettle boils, or during a commercial break, or right before you open your laptop. There is one more element I need to mention, which serves as the glue for all of this: hydration. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, but our need for water does not. The discs in your spine, those shock absorbers between the vertebrae, are mostly water. The vitreous humor, the jelly inside your eyeball, is mostly water. If you are dehydrated, your discs flatten, worsening your posture, and your eyes lose their turgidity. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that even mild dehydration of 1 to 2% of body mass can impair cognitive function and visual motor tracking. So if you are doing all the posture work, but you are dehydrated, you are fighting an uphill battle. Keep a glass of water next to your screen. Every time you do your 3-minute reset, take a sip. It's the simplest medicine there is. I want to take a moment to reassure you. I know that as we get older, it can feel like our bodies are constantly presenting us with new challenges. It can be frustrating to feel like you can't do the things you used to do, like read a novel for hours or research your genealogy online without paying a price in pain. But please remember, biology is adaptable at any age. Your muscles, your nerves, and your brain are still capable of learning new patterns. You are not destined to live with eye strain and neck pain just because of the year on your birth certificate. By understanding the mechanics, the why behind the pain, you take back control. You stop being a passive victim of aging and start being an active participant in your own well being. These small adjustments, these subtle shifts in how you sit and breathe, compound over time. Today, it's a little less blurry. Next week, the headache doesn't come. Next month, you realize you've been on the computer for an hour and you feel fine. That is the power of working with your physiology rather than ignoring it. So here is my challenge to you. For the next week, set a timer. Every hour you spend on a device, take 3 minutes to run through this checklist. Sit bones, breath, shoulders, chin, suboccipitals, blink, gaze. See how it changes, not just how you see, but how you feel. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the tilt of your pelvis to the blinking of your eyelids. We've learned that eye strain isn't just an eye problem, it's a whole body posture problem. We've looked at the science showing how forward head posture increases the weight on your neck by 60 pounds and how shallow breathing starves your retina of oxygen. And most importantly, we've learned that the solution is simple, gentle, and completely within your control. Your independence, your ability to read, to communicate, to see the faces of the people you love, these are worth protecting, and you have the tools to protect them. I have one final favor to ask, and it's for a very good reason. If you found value in this breakdown, if you learned something new about how your body works, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Why? Because the algorithm tends to prioritize fast-paced entertainment over slow, detailed health advice for seniors. By liking and subscribing, you are sending a signal that this kind of content matters, that your health is worth fighting for, and it helps us reach more people who are sitting at home right now, rubbing their eyes, wishing they had a solution. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which part of the 3-minute reset felt the most effective for you? Was it the anti-shrug, dropping that weight off your shoulders, or perhaps the hard blink that cleared your vision? Let me know below. I read every comment because I learn just as much from you as you do from me. Remember, clear vision starts with a strong spine. Keep your head up, keep your shoulders down, and keep looking forward. I'll see you in the next video.